The media are just mouthpieces for the Democrats at this point, and they truly are. I won't say the entire media. There are certain members of the media who I think on occasion try to do a good job. I will say that the folks over at CNN, generally speaking, do not. Wolf Blitzer and members of the CNN team pretending that this was a serious moment in America after spending years cheerleading for Trump's impeachment, after spending years pushing the Trump-Russia collusion stuff, after years suggesting that Donald John Trump is the worst person who ever lived. They're sitting there like, oh my God, what a serious moment this is for the country. Yeah, I'm going to go with these are crocodile tears. Here is Wolf Blitzer.
Adam Schiff, the lead House impeachment manager, the chairman of the Intelligence Committee, he was very somber, very serious. He read these two articles of impeachment, abuse of power by the President of the United States, obstruction of Congress by the President of the United States, repeatedly saying that the President of the United States engaged in high crimes and misdemeanors.
Everybody very much on point here. Everybody understands the somberness and the seriousness and the sobriety of the moment. This is why you had Nancy Pelosi trying to pretend that she was really somber and serious and sober about all of this. My favorite actual instance of the somber, serious, sober moment was Kamala Harris. So Kamala Harris, she was doing an interview with MSNBC, and she was on camera before she knew she was on camera. And she's yucking it up. I mean, just laughing out loud. And then the camera switches on. She realizes that the red light is on. And she puts on her somber, serious, sober face and goes for it. It's clip 24.
One of our colleagues, Casey Hunt, who is now with one of those senators. Casey?
Ari, thanks so much. We're here with Senator Kamala Harris, who, of course, a former 2020 presidential candidate.
I mean, this is a solemn, serious moment. These are the most serious charges ever brought in the history of our country against a president.
I'm going to cough up a lung. That's amazing. Show it again. Show it again. Do it again. Do it again. That's great.
One of our colleagues, Casey Hunt, who is now with one of those senators. Casey?
Ari, thanks so much. We're here with Senator Kamala Harris, who, of course, a former 2020 presidential candidate.
I mean, this is a solemn, serious moment. These are the most serious charges ever brought in the history of our country against a president.
The most serious charges ever brought? Ever? Really? There's not a single crime alleged in the impeachment papers, like not one. But I really enjoy. They need to use the word sedate. We need stern, like all of the S words, right? I don't know why they picked S, and they could have gone with portentous, weighty, right? There are plenty of thesaurus items they could have gone with, but it's all the S words. But that shift from that face, from that giant Joker grin, and that crazy Joker laugh. I mean, I suggested after she left the presidential race that maybe she was up for the part of the Joker in the next Suicide Squad, but she went from that to, I mean, it's like Joaquin Phoenix in Joker, who has this bizarre penchant for laughing at inappropriate times, right? Because he's got an actual condition. Kamala Harris can't stop herself. She's like so happy. She's grinning. And then she realized the camera's on. She goes, and the Oscar for worst congressional actor goes to Senator Kamala Harris. Everybody's so serious about it. Guys, we ought to take this super seriously, because super serious crimes are being alleged, and it's the allegations that matter, as we will find out in a moment. It's not the actual proof. It's the allegations that matter, because now it's up to the Senate to investigate, which is weird, since the Senate is where you hold a trial. See, normally in the impeachment procedure, you hold the investigation at the House level, and then you hold the trial at the Senate level. Now, I don't know about you, but if you've ever watched like a Law and Order episode, there's a difference between the investigation, right? That is the part where the guy who played Lumiere is out there on the streets walking the beat. And then there's the actual trial, and that's the part, you have Jerry Orbach walking the beat, and then you have the part where Sam Waterston actually tries the case. And they're two completely different things. Sam Waterston isn't the one walking the beat, gathering all the facts. He's the one trying the case. It's Jerry Orbach who's supposed to be walking the streets, finding all the evidence. Well, the House is supposed to be Jerry Orbach in this little analogy, and Sam Waterston is supposed to be the Senate, but turns out the House wants the Senate to be the investigative body as opposed to the House being the investigative body. We'll get to that in just 1 second. Nancy Pelosi did a crap investigation in the House. They didn't call any of the relevant witnesses. They called a bunch of people who had heard third hand about stuff happening in Ukraine. And now Nancy Pelosi says, well, really what we're conveying to the Senate is not about the proof. It's not about the proof. It's about the allegations. Well, I understand that the Democrats have decided that allegations are tantamount to proof as soon as you're talking about someone you disagree with. That if it's Brett Kavanaugh and there's an allegation made that he participated in a gang rape in 1832, that this is tantamount to proof, and therefore Brett Kavanaugh should not sit on the Supreme Court. I understand this is their broad view of how due process works, but this is not how due process works. So when Nancy Pelosi suggests that you don't need proof, you just need the allegations, and now it's up to the Senate to investigate the allegations. No, that was up to you, lady. And if you had just delayed this thing, we keep hearing now it's bombshell after bombshell. Bombshells dropping everywhere. It's like the film 1917, just bombshells blowing up right next to the Trump administration. Well, if you just waited a few weeks, you could have called all those witnesses, like every single one of the ones you are now calling on the Senate to call, which suggests that all of this is a put-up job, Nancy Pelosi basically admitting as much yesterday.
In any case, it's not a question of saying what proof. It says what allegations have been made. And that has to be subjected to scrutiny as to how we go forward. But it should not be ignored in the context of other events that have happened that would substantiate some of that.
We don't need proof. The allegations are sufficient for us to take seriously the impeachment charges. Again, this is like if Jerry Orbach walked into Sam Waterston's office and he was like, listen, I've got an allegation. A murder's been committed. And Sam Waterston's like, awesome. I'd like to go try this thing. Where's your proof? And Jerry Orbach was like, well, I think my allegation is enough. Like, there's been an allegation made. Don't got a body. Don't got a weapon. I've got a suspect. Like, I think that guy did it. Just call it a gut hunch. But I don't really have the proof. Waterston would laugh him out of his office, and he's a TV lawyer. So even Sam Waterston, TV lawyer, knows that if you're going to try a case in the Senate, presumably, if you're the prosecution, which the Democrats are in this particular case, then you should presumably have some proof to back you up. I hope you enjoyed that clip from The Ben Shapiro Show. If you did, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you stay up to date on all of our future content.